Money feels solid. We touch it. We earn it. We lose it. But money is not solid at all. It is an agreement, a belief system, a promise that only works if everyone agrees to trust it. So here is the question no civilization can avoid forever. Who controls the money? And can money ever truly be controlled? Because history tells us something uncomfortable. Whenever humans believe they are in control of money, money is already reshaping their society from the inside. Let's begin where control first appeared. In the ancient world, money was born in temples, not banks, not governments, temples. In Mesopotamia, Egypt, and later Greece, temples were the safest places in society. They stored grain, silver, records, and contracts. Priests tracked debts, measured value, and enforced trust. Money was not a tool of freedom. It was a tool of order. Control belonged to those who guarded the vaults and wrote the records. As kingdoms grew, rulers realized something critical. If you control money, you don't just control trade. You control loyalty. You control armies. You control time. Coins changed everything. Stamped faces, official weights, guaranteed purity. Money became portable authority. But even then, control was fragile. Debasement followed, inflation followed, trust eroded. Empires learned a lesson they would repeat for centuries. You can create money faster than you can create trust. Rome mastered monetary control. At least it thought it did. The Republic and later the Empire used money to pay soldiers, reward allies, and expand borders. But war was expensive. And expansion demanded more than taxation could provide. So Rome borrowed, from elites, from financiers, from its own future. Control shifted quietly, not to emperors, but to creditors. Currency debasement became policy. Silver disappeared. Prices rose. The system survived. Until it didn't. Rome didn't fall because enemies breached the gates. It fell because the math stopped working. Control over money had become an illusion. Centuries later, a new experiment began. In Song Dynasty, China money lost its weight. Paper replaced metal. Value became abstract. At first it was genius. Trade accelerated. The state gained power. Wealth moved faster than ever before. But abstraction comes at a cost. Once money becomes paper, control depends entirely on discipline, and discipline is rare. Overprinting followed. Inflation followed. Collapse followed. The pattern was clear. Money cannot be controlled by authority alone. It requires restraint, transparency, limits. And humans have always struggled with limits. Then came banks, not as villains, not as saviors, but as intermediaries. Banks promised something radical. We will manage trust for you. Deposits became loans. Loans became leverage. Leverage became power. Money multiplied without being created physically. This was not fraud. It was design. But it created a new reality. Those who controlled credit controlled economies. Those who controlled interest controlled governments. Those who controlled liquidity decided who survived crises and who didn't. By the modern era, money had fully transformed. It was no longer metal, no longer paper. It was numbers, digits on ledgers, entries in databases, signals between institutions. Central banks emerged to stabilize the system, to smooth cycles, to prevent collapse. But stabilization requires intervention, and intervention reshapes incentives. Printing money became normal. Debt became permanent. Growth became mandatory. Ask yourself this: if a system collapses without constant expansion, is it stable or addicted? Today, money is controlled by no single hand. Not governments alone, not banks alone, not markets alone. It is controlled by a system of expectations. inflation expectations, growth expectations, political expectations. And systems don't ask permission. They reward behavior. They punish hesitation. They force decisions. Governments borrow because they must. Central banks print because collapse is worse. Markets speculate because standing still is death. So who controls the money? Everyone, and no one. And that is the danger. Because when responsibility is everywhere, accountability disappears. Can money ever be controlled? History gives us a brutal answer. Money can be restrained, temporarily. It can be guided, imperfectly. But it cannot be mastered permanently. Every civilization that believed it had achieved final control eventually learned the same lesson. Money is not just an economic tool. It is a mirror. It reflects power, fear, greed, discipline, and denial. The question is not whether money will shape society. It always does. The real question is this: will society shape money consciously, or let money shape society blindly? Because once trust is gone, no law, no army, no institution can print it back. And history is clear about what happens next.